So more than 200 jobs could go at Hull College Group. The restructure will affect the main site in Hull, as well as those in Goole and Harrogate, and could result in 231 equivalent full-time posts going. Michelle Swithenbank is the Chief Executive at the Hull College Group, and I asked her what they're proposing.
It's part of our Fresh Start, which is about rebuilding all of our colleges back up to a position where it can be self-sustained, cash generative within the 5-year plan, but most importantly offer a really good, exciting offer for students that equips them with the skills they need to go out into the jobs and on to further and higher education.
I mean, you talk about Fresh Start, but we're talking about a lot of jobs going here, up to 231 full-time equivalent. I mean, if you're talking about part-time jobs, that could be even more people going.
I don't think it matters how many. It could be 1 or 1,000. What matters is that it's personal to the staff going through this. And what's important to us is that we support our staff through this. Our staffing levels are high and too high for us to afford and maintain. So out of the proposals, we're concentrating on a support package for our staff, which means we're helping them with redeployment opportunities. We're giving them interview training. It's really important to us that we care about this process they're going through.
But are there the jobs out there?
I'd like to think so. I've been speaking to stakeholders within the city and they're doing their best. They're really rallying around as Hull does. It really starts to embrace and unite in difficult times. So yeah, it should be hopeful news.
I mean, you talk about you've got too many jobs at the moment, but correct me if I'm wrong, this is about 1 in 3 of your jobs could go here, isn't it?
It's what we call 231 full-time equivalent. That's not necessarily the same as posts or headcount. It's proposals, and we're going through consultation, but we've spent the last year drawing up the recovery plan and making things as efficient as we can so that we're keeping it to an absolute minimum that we have to.
I mean, given that staff have known that times are tight, they've known that jobs may be at risk, and I know you spoke last April and you couldn't guarantee whether there'd be job losses or not. This has obviously been a very tough time for them, and now they get this news. They're already demoralised. How are they feeling now?
Quite understandably, it's a difficult time for everybody, but the staff across the board are absolutely dedicated to providing the provision we provide for our learners and to keep that experience at the best it can to be successful.
It's going to be tough for them, isn't it, to do that when now all they're worrying about is are they going to have a job or not?
And that's why the support package is immensely important to us as an organisation.
What about your standards, though, as an education provider? If you're losing so many people, so many qualified, skilled people, surely your standards are going to go down?
Not at all. Our recovery plan is aimed at making sure that our experience gets better. So we're particularly for Hull, because we're focusing on Hull here for this radio station, we've become a really strong college for the city. So it means we've redefined our curriculum, re-looked at how we deliver it so it becomes exciting and delivery that's in the 21st century. So learners really benefit from what's to come over the future.
And you're talking about offering an improved range of courses in September. How is that possible then?
By changing the way that we deliver. So not everything has to all be done in a classroom. It can be done in workshops. It can be done online. What's important is that we equip the learners with the right skills, techniques and tools to either go on to HE with ourselves or elsewhere or get jobs within the city.
I mean, unfortunately, Hull College Group has made headlines for the wrong reasons a few times over the last couple of years. What do you see the future as, though? Because it just seems to be, as I say, demoralised staff, worried about their jobs now. Hundreds of them could be going. What is the future? The
future is bright for Hull College, and that's why we're having to restructure and go on Fresh Start so that we do have a bright, strong college for the city.
And what message for the students? Because they've got to be worried hearing this, haven't they?
We're absolutely open for business. We've informed all of our students what's happening. We're absolutely guaranteed to provide a quality provision to them, and they will come to us for an exciting offer, equipped to go out and get those jobs and those university and higher education courses that they're looking for. And
what message for your staff? Because I imagine they're less excited.
The future is bright for those that remain with us, that we're supportive, wholly 100% to anybody affected by this, and we're trying to get through this together.
Well, that was the Chief Executive Officer at the Hull College Group, Michelle Swithenbank there. Later in the programme, we'll hear from Julie Kelley from the University and College Union, the UCU, representing some of the staff there at Hull College. If you're affected by that, get in touch. Let me know. I've seen a few people on social media today worried about their jobs, clearly. So as we've been hearing today, over 200 jobs could go at Hull College Group. Michelle Swithenbank is the Chief Executive Officer at Hull College Group, and she told me earlier that staffing levels are too high at the moment.
I don't think it matters how many. It could be 1 or 1,000. What matters is that it's personal to the staff going through this. And what's important to us is that we support our staff through this. Our staffing levels are high and too high for us to afford and maintain. So out of the proposals, we're concentrating on a support package for our staff, which means we're helping them with redeployment opportunities. We're giving them interview training. It's really important to us that we care about this process they're going through.
Well, with me in the studio, Julie Kelley, the Regional Officer at the University and College Union, the UCU, covering our region. Julie, hello, good evening. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, Andy.
What do you make of this news when you got the news then of the number of jobs going?
I was very shocked at the numbers of redundancies that are being proposed. It's effectively 1 in 3 of the workforce will lose their job. 20% of the lecturers who work at the college currently across the sites at Hull, Harrogate and Goole are also going to be losing their jobs too. So that's just unprecedented levels of cuts that I've ever seen in a college in Yorkshire and Humberside since I started this job in 2009.
But we heard there from the CEO, Michelle Swithenbank, it's overstaffed.
That's their view. They've had countless experts, consultants, accountancy firms basically poring over data, and the conclusion is that the college is overstaffed. Certainly, if I talk to our members, they don't feel as though the college is overstaffed. They don't feel as though they are under-deployed in terms of the work that they're performing for the college.
So let's talk about the people affected then. I mean, you talk about 1 in 5 lecturers' jobs going there, Julie. What's going to happen to these people?
Well, they're going to lose their jobs, aren't they, Andy? I mean, the sad fact is that after the previous rounds of redundancies that had taken place between 2010 to 2016, for many of them today it'll feel a bit like Groundhog Day. Here we go, here we are again, faced with cuts, but this time the scale of the cuts are just beyond what they've ever experienced. So there will be a lot of staff going home tonight who will be feeling very anxious. They'll be worried about how they're going to pay the bills once these redundancies have gone through. There is not the quality and level of jobs available here in the city to give them the kind of secure employment that working in a college you would anticipate would provide for you.
I was going to come on to that because that's exactly what I asked Michelle Swithenbank. Are there the jobs out there? She seemed to think that there would be jobs to redeploy staff to.
There'll be jobs out there. I'm sure that some people will be able to find work, but there'll be some staff who perhaps, if they're in their mid-50s, they may not find it so easy to find jobs and work out there. Maybe a lot of the employment that they will be looking at will be insecure employment as well.
She's talking about a new way of working, that you don't have to be in a classroom, that they can go out to businesses and so forth more. So it's a different way of teaching, a different way of working.
Yes, that's very interesting. I heard her say that. She talked about new technologies as well. I think the staff have yet to see some of this. Yes, there is an expectation that part of the delivery will be done in the workplace. Interesting to see whether businesses are going to offer the types of work placement opportunities that Michelle was referring to. Be interesting to see what kind of technology she's going to put in. At the moment, we haven't really seen any of that. She talked also about a package of support for staff. Again, haven't seen that. We haven't seen anything to do with what redeployment opportunities there are going to be.
What will happen now then? I mean, we're talking about a period of consultation now. I think, is it a 45-day period of consultation? What happens from here?
There'll be a 45-day period of consultation over the redundancies, and as well as that, on top of that, the principal is also proposing new contracts for lecturers, new contracts for some managers, and new contracts for some business support staff. The expectation is that will be delivered also in 45 days, alongside also consulting over 231 redundancies. I think that is completely unrealistic, and a different timetable is going to have to be established for that. again, what the staff who survive this cull are looking at is going to be inferior terms and conditions and most likely pay cuts.
What about the students then? Because as well as you say, staff going home tonight, worried about their futures, what about the students at Hull College and also the outlying colleges which Hull College covers? How are they likely to be feeling?
Well, I think I'll talk about Hull College students. I think, our members who are lecturers at the college, our lecturers are very professional people. They will obviously continue to perform a good job for the students that are in the college currently. They always do that every single time there's been redundancies in the past. Students always come first. Exactly what the provision is going to look like come September 2018, that's another question entirely. We've had some basic information provided to us today regarding the numbers of redundancies, but actually the department areas where these redundancies are going to be made has yet to be revealed. And so I'm not in a position, Andy, tonight to be able to comment on whether or not certain curriculum areas may well survive this.
They're talking about more courses, though. More courses will be on offer from September.
Well, that again would be great if that were true. Let's wait and see, because again, none of that has been announced.
They're saying they're doing this to secure the sites in Hull, in Harrogate and in Goole. So isn't this a necessary evil then to make sure that at least Hull College survives? Well,
part of the recommendations that have been made to the college is that number one of the things is that Harrogate College has got to be disaggregated. That means basically somebody else come along to take over the running of Harrogate College. At the moment, there's nobody even in sight as to who might take over Harrogate College. It would probably be useful if we did know who was going to take over Harrogate College, because, of course, whoever does take it over will have a view about what staff is needed and also what curriculum areas are going to be needed to fit in with any future provider. Obviously, we're going to be looking at this restructure as far as Harrogate is concerned with no knowledge about any of that, because it's an unknown quantity. Yes, absolutely, Hull College Group has got to be successful. It's got to be sustainable. But in our view, the decision regarding the redundancies has come at the last minute. We're looking at a cliff edge. We've got 4 months effectively to go through this major restructure. It's going to be really difficult for us to have a real impact on shaping the future of the college. We've got a 45-day consultation period. That is not going to be sufficient for the level of cut that is required. The college has known this was coming, essentially, since November 16, and we've been asking what the proposals are going to look like, and it's been a closely guarded secret throughout all of that. And now we're left in this position where we're going to have to try to really see what we can salvage from this.
Julie, thanks for your time. Julie Kelley, the Regional Officer at the University and College Union, the UCU, covering staff at the Hull College Group.